Today, people often start billion-dollar businesses from a laptop or a phone. But more than a century ago, one American boy began his journey with something far simpler, a wooden box full of melting ice cream at a busy railroad station. In the summer of 1900, the small railroad town of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, was alive with the sounds of steam engines. Trains hissed loudly as they pulled into the station, releasing clouds of white steam that drifted across the platform. Passengers stepped down, carrying heavy leather suitcases. Businessmen rushed to catch connections, and vendors shouted to sell newspapers, sandwiches, and cold drinks. Among those vendors was a thin 14-year-old boy named Daniel Carter. Daniel stood near the end of the platform beside a small wooden cart packed with ice and metal containers filled with ice cream. The cart was simple, and the job was not easy. On hot summer days, the ice melted quickly, and if Daniel didn't sell the ice cream fast enough, the product would be ruined. But Daniel had little choice. His father had died in a factory accident 2 years earlier, leaving his mother to raise 4 children alone. Money was scarce, and every small coin Daniel earned helped keep food on the table. Each morning before sunrise, Daniel walked nearly 2 miles to the railroad station, pushing his ice cream cart along the dusty road. The railroad station was the heart of the town. At the turn of the 20th century, railroads were the lifeline of America. They connected cities, transported goods, and carried millions of passengers across the country. Towns built around railroad lines often grew quickly, and stations became busy centers of commerce. For a young boy like Daniel, the station was more than just a workplace, it was a classroom. As trains arrived and departed, Daniel watched everything. He watched businessmen negotiating deals while waiting for trains. He listened to travelers discussing cities he had never seen. He observed how vendors competed to attract customers. Slowly, Daniel learned an important lesson. Selling was not just about having a product, it was about understanding people. While other vendors simply shouted, "Ice cream! Ice cream!" Daniel tried something different. Whenever a train arrived, he walked along the platform, smiling and speaking directly to passengers. "Fresh ice cream for the journey," he would say, "cold and sweet for a hot day." Passengers noticed the polite boy with bright eyes and a confident voice. Many chose to buy from him instead of the other vendors. On especially busy days, Daniel sold every container before noon. But Daniel was not satisfied with simply selling ice cream. He was curious about how businesses worked. One afternoon, a traveling salesman named Mr. Thompson struck up a conversation with Daniel while waiting for his train. Mr. Thompson sold dairy products to stores across several states. After hearing Daniel's story, he gave the boy a simple piece of advice. "Son, selling is good, but owning the product is better." Those words stayed in Daniel's mind. At night, Daniel often helped his mother in the kitchen, where she made simple desserts for the family. One evening, he asked her a question. "Do you think we could make ice cream ourselves?" His mother laughed at first, but Daniel insisted. They began experimenting with milk, sugar, and cream using a small hand-cranked ice cream maker borrowed from a neighbor. The first attempts were not perfect. Sometimes the mixture froze too hard, sometimes it stayed too soft, but slowly they improved. Soon, Daniel was selling not just ice cream, but ice cream made by his own family. Passengers noticed the difference. The flavor was richer, the texture smoother. Word began to spread among regular travelers at the Harrisburg station. "Buy from the Carter boy," some passengers said. "His ice cream is the best." Within 2 years, Daniel saved enough money to purchase a larger cart and hire another boy to help sell during busy hours. By the 1910s, the Carter Ice Cream Company was delivering frozen desserts to several towns across Pennsylvania. What had started as a boy's small cart on a railroad platform was slowly becoming a real business. Daniel never forgot the long days he spent pushing that cart through the station. He believed those early struggles had taught him the most valuable lessons: hard work, observation, and the courage to try something new. By the 1920s, the Carter Ice Cream Company had grown into a regional dairy brand with dozens of employees and distribution across multiple states. Travelers who passed through Harrisburg often heard the story. The owner of the successful company had once been the skinny boy selling ice cream beside the railroad tracks.
Years later, during an interview with a local newspaper, Daniel Carter was asked what had inspired him to start his business. He smiled before answering. "I didn't start with a dream of owning a company. I started with a cart, a melting block of ice, and the need to help my family survive." He paused, remembering the crowded platform and the sound of steam engines. "Sometimes," he added quietly, "great businesses begin in the smallest places." And for Daniel Carter, that place had been a noisy railroad station in the summer of 1900, where a boy with a box of ice cream unknowingly took the first step toward building a company that would serve thousands of customers for decades to come.